Basically what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to fit up my truss. So it's for a Sterling 1025, but I think they're kind of designed off of an older one. This is on a 96. I'm kind of just running into some spots that hit. So I'm kind of just marking where it needs trim to work. Seems like I just need to take a little hump off here. And then, but for what we're looking right here, we're not doing too bad. So I had to trim up on the other side a little bit to clear the ABS sensor that sits right up there and some lines. Over here, it looks like it's gonna fit great. So right here, the only spot that's hidden is right for the brake line and the axle breather. But I don't plan on keeping the drums. I plan on going to disc brakes so I can reroute brake lines afterwards when I'm getting ready to build it all. Because I'll do the disc brake swap in the rear. But also, for anyone wondering how I mounted my wheel lights, a lot of people don't know. I'm actually missing a rivet. I need to remount it, but I just drill into the backing plates on them and then just pop a rivet. I just use a slightly too small rivet. So yeah, I just know I need to notch right up here real quick. I'll just put a straight edge and notch it straight right there, and then that'll clear just fine. Pull the welder out, tack it, weld her up, and then I got my link mount right here that I'll weld that up and put that on. Scale off, get good welds. And just because it was bent on a nice seam beforehand, put a good bevel on that, especially if you're not I'm a pretty solid weld, don't get me wrong. Bevel it so you get good penetration. Both sides beveled. I still need to grind right up here, mark where I need to tack that bracket once I get that all tacked up and whatnot, but I'm gonna tack it and start buzzing it together. Here we are with it all tacked up. Tack these corners, that way when I start wheeling up here, it doesn't shrink too much. Tack right here so this doesn't shift. Then I have that all tacked in there. That shouldn't shift any. That's the right size you need. Same tacks right there. I'm gonna start buzzing her together. Got her all welded up. I need to touch up that one. I only got a little bit of porosity right there, but so basically now I'm doing, don't bother how fucking messy it is right now. I've wanted to get down here on my heads and knees considering it's been raining anyways. I don't feel like getting soaked down here to clean this. Isn't exactly where it's gonna sit. I still need to find pitman angle and whatnot whenever I jack it up to the height that I need, but I'm trying to figure out the bottom bag mount that I want to build and whatnot, and then I'll build the frame mounts also. So I'm kind of just pulling measurements for that. What I do know I want it to go pretty up to here and then over, and I want to gust it all the way down to kind of match with this one, because I could have built a full truss myself, but I didn't want to find all these measurements and whatnot. It was just easier to buy one of these off Barnes off-road, which killer kit. But so I'm just kind of pulling measurements because I can build the brackets and then set the pitman angle after I find it and then weld it to the axle. So I'm doing that. And then I already have the idea for the design for the frame brackets, and I'll draw that up real quick and show you guys what I'm planning for that. So like rough design, here's kind of what I'm thinking. Obviously, you know, gusset a little there, a little down there, right there, bag mount. Keep it pretty low pro. I'm gonna jack up the truck and figure out what kind of heights I have to work with. See what height I need this and what height I need to make the bag bracket. That way I can figure out what size bag I'm gonna want to run. But what I plan on doing is my truck's set for a fifth wheel rail, so I plan on making the bracket sit right around here, which just has an odd curve to it, but I think I'm just gonna make a plate over it, and then on the inside of it, weld it right here so it kind of fills in that little hump so that it sits pretty flat. Straight plate, and then this curve's gonna be a little bit of a fun one to match, but shouldn't be too bad. I'll probably end up cutting off this little ledge, maybe not, we'll see. but I plan on, so it'll sit like that, and then we'll have the little piece that goes down, make the bag bracket drop a little lower, then gusset it, and then I'm gonna have a cross member that goes from each bracket, and that's where I'll probably mount my shock mounts. And then for my sway bar, I'll have the sway bar links come off the frame right here, because the sway bar is gonna be on the back of the axle instead of, I don't have it on, but factory they go from the front. That's what that link is. I didn't take that off, but kind of what I'm planning. Because right now the truck sits on a 4-inch lift. I'm planning on going up another 4 or 5 inches. So I want to sit 8 or 9 inches total. But I plan on making the rear be able to air down similar to stock. I want it to air down lower than this. So I'm trying to figure out bag height that I'm going to need just for travel. I'd be fine if it just aired down to this. I like a little bit of lean, but it'd be cool to have it on bags, go up, down. Front, I'm doing either coils or coilovers. I haven't truly decided what I want. I've considered putting bags all the way around it, but I don't want to deal with all the steering and whatnot with all that. I might, I don't know, we'll see. I'm working on the rear first. I don't want to go too big, so I want to keep running 37s. So like, you know, I got 10-inch of travel right there, put it up at either the 14 or 15. I think that'd look pretty slick. It already seems like quite a bit, but you know, you figure that's, I don't rub somehow, but it's very, very close. But right here's a sway bar link that I built. Needs trimmed up. I kind of just bent those. I'll have to cut those notches off and get the right size tubing, and then break a notch and drill that one a little bit for a heim to fit a little better, but that'll end up going. It's kind of hard to tell, but I guess, actually, I have the boxes all cut out in this fucking thing. It's kind of hard to tell. Don't mind my wiring. I have it to work in progress. When I pulled my tank the other day, I just cut my rocket wiring, so. But that'll end up sitting somewhere around here where I'll get around by that. Hard part is my tank hangs so low because it's a 31 gallon, but I'll figure that part out. I may even put a own little hub right there. That way it kind of individually works. We'll see. Because after this will be all gone, I can put a little hub right there. Almost like a cantilever, but just for the sway bar. But we'll see. I do plan on eventually. I don't know, the rear box I may just cut out and leave open. That way it shows, because the box does hang pretty low. If I do that, I can just leave this open. That shows. I'll have to clean it all up and whatnot, and you'd be able to see in there and see all the goodies. But I need to clean up all the boxes. This one I cut into also. It's kind of in a hurry doing it. I have one box that I've cleaned up. It's a mess in there right now, but it is cleaned up nicely. That's all the box did right there. I just tossed straps and shit right there right now. I completely spaced out on recording it, but basically what I'm doing is I have stuff to build an e-fuel kit for this truck. So it's still running the mechanical pump on it, but kind of changing it up because with the whole suspension build that I'm doing, I'm gonna have to take out my front tank because I'm afraid the link's gonna get in the, well, not afraid, the link's for sure gonna get in the way of it, but I'm not too worried about it because the truck's got big tanks. It's got a 35 front, 31 rear, so taking one tank out is still gonna hold more gallon than a stock OBS will. So, but I have a 31 gallon tank down here that I pulled out and repainted the other day. Still need to route the neck and whatnot. It's not plumbed in. I run off my factory front tank just right now, factory, but the front tank right now. But what I plan on doing, this tank's got a bottom feed right there. I wasn't gonna put a sump on it, but I might just do a bottom feed right there. One thing I noticed, before I pulled this tank, I went to go run it completely out so that we had no fuel in it, and it still ended up having like 12 gallons in it. So I don't think the pickup tube's all the way at the bottom like it should. But I'm gonna make the feed, I think, right down there. Because I don't really want to drill another hole in it when it's already got one right there. But I better cut her over, probably run it along the frame. And then right here is where I have had my filler neck. When I first bought the bed, I had a filler neck spot right here, but I was in the spot that I cut off. But I'm gonna route that neck up and around in here, right up there. So it's actually like where it should be. But I had to cut this hole for the leaf hanger. But like my other side, I closed it in. I also just cut out this. Pretty simple, just measured out length. Go along the one seam bent it, and I'll weld it up together. But this one I plan on, I'll put it in there and weld her in, and then paint this box. And it comes with this bracket. You know, you got the filter mount, fuel pump. I plan on putting this plate. Most people put up along the frame, but I don't really want something sitting right, because right now I have, so it's not e-fuel, it's just a regulated fuel delete, so that's just my fuel filter. But I don't want nothing blocking the cradle. So I'm probably gonna, I was kind of thinking about putting there because I did cut holes, but so I'm not a big fan of that. But I could always put plate or whatever, venture wire or something right there. I'll probably put this like up here somewhere, maybe lower right here. That way when it bolts on it, it's not through the inside of the bed. So I'll probably bolt it down somewhere right around there, so that way my filter and pump will be easily accessible but not visible, you know. This box is a mess, but this isn't wired in. But normally I ran boat speakers. I used to have boat speakers. It's kind of where there's holes right there too. I had a bar and I had tower speakers, but because I put a stack, it got in the way. So what I plan on doing, actually, I still have more welding to do on the, I kind of plan on putting tower speakers in the corner right there and another one over there, because these things, obviously they're kind of inconvenient, so could say, because you don't really hear them in the cab, but like at shows or just when you're out working on the truck, bumping music and these things are loud, but quite fun. But another thing I plan on doing, these trucks, they're really rare, but you can find kits that make the whole window roll down. I found someone that actually has one uninstalled, and he sent me measurements and all that, so I plan on building one for this truck to get the rear window to roll down.